What is he in for this Saturday night?
I rule awakening for sure. He just doing what he have to do, trying to psych himself out for the fight and things like that. But
what's he up to on Saturday night? A rule in Wisconsin, Lamont Roach isn't here for the games. He knows what people are saying and that they believe he's just another name on Tank's hit list, another opponent who is put to sleep before the fight even gets interesting. However, Roach doesn't care. He's coming to the Barclays Center on Saturday with the sole purpose of upending the boxing world and demonstrating that he's not just some easy cherry pick for the so-called face of boxing. From his perspective, Tank will have no choice but to dig deep and use every weapon in his arsenal, because this time, the knockout won't be easy.
It's competition, and it can only be one winner. It can't be two winners. It can only be one winner. So it's either going to be you or me, and I'm going to get you before you get me.
There can only be one winner in this competition. It's even G&A because there can only be one winner, not two. I'll get you before you get me. So it's either you or me. You won't have an option but to utilize it. Therefore, you're all going to see it on March 1st. In a clear message to those who think he won't hold up against the Baltimore power puncher, Roach stated that he is not backing down from the challenge and isn't afraid by Tank's absurd knockout percentage. Critics are quick to remind him that Tank Davis isn't just a knockout artist. He's a wrecking ball with a nearly flawless, lawless track record. And even though he may believe he's a scientist who transforms into Hulk when the bell rings, he's never faced a fighter like Tank before. If anything, it sounds like a man who sees a weakness in Tank's armor and uses it to take advantage of his habits.
I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter.
No, in my opinion, Lamont Roach is an amazing fighter, but he could be a little over his head when it comes to Jono Davis. To put it mildly, he is a beast, and this isn't just any neighborhood gym. History hasn't been kind to guys who think they can outbox or overpower Tank, as demonstrated by Jamal Herring in 2019. Herring nearly put Pooh on the canvas before winning a unanimous decision, but that fight alone raises doubts about Pooh's level. What will happen when Tank hits a guy who hits like a freight train starts unloading?
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against the dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together. And
that's the doubt that hangs over Pooh's confidence. War is the biggest stage of his career against the most dangerous finisher in the division. I believe that he took this fight because he knew that I was a dog and wanted to prove his abilities against the dog. I'm going to show you what happens when two dogs enter the ring together. But Roach won't admit it because he's focused on his work and is stepping up to lightweight from 130 because he thinks that extra weight will make all the difference. More strength, power, and durability details. I can tell you that we're just trying to get faster and stronger because we have more space and don't need to shed any more weight. We can perform a lot more physical activities. He clarified that he's in the best physical condition of his life going into this battle. But let's not forget that the mind games Roach isn't only counting on his own gains.
Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Roach always, he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
He also sees possible weaknesses in Tank's. The fact that Tank's longtime trainer and mentor from the beginning, Camp Calvin Ford Tank, won't be supporting him on fight night is significant. It's like removing a ship's captain just before a storm, and Roach is aware of it. When asked if Ford's absence would be an advantage, he said, "I think that's a little weird because you've been with your lifetime career trainer to not have him as your head trainer in your corner. That might be a difference maker for him. You never know he's right as dominant as Tank is. He has patterns. He starts slow. He falls behind on the scorecards, and then he relies on that one-punch power to bail him out."
Yes.
It's a formula that has worked time and time again. But what happens if that punch doesn't land clean? What if, using his deft boxing techniques, Roach gains an early advantage and ruins in the latter rounds? That's what Roach is betting on. Yes, thank you. I train to be the best Gervonta. I prepare for a Donta without any anticipated distractions. I'm training for a beast, And if he's not a beast that night, it will show that he said that with confidence. However, the truth is that instead of just fighting Tank, he's fighting the narrative, the expectation, and the overwhelming belief that he's just a stepping stone. And that's what makes a fight so damn interesting. If the critics are wrong and he's just another name on Tank's highlight reel, they'll say that he was never on this level.
Training camp's been great, man. I've been working my ass off. I've been putting myself in hell, putting myself through fire. Also, for March 1st to come out victorious.
That his confidence was misplaced, and that Tank did what Tank always does, and sends his opponent home early. See, his training has been excellent, guy. I've been working really hard and pushing myself to the limit, putting myself through fire, and waiting for March 1st to arrive. Victorious L's hip-hop is still very young, but if he is correct, if he makes it through those initial rounds, he exposes Tank's bad habits and forces him into a real dogfight that changes everything. And despite the odds and doubts, he is still convinced that he has the answers. I've been here before, and I'll tell you that he said without hesitation. Perhaps he's bluffing. Maybe he really sees something the world doesn't. But one thing is clear. He's not coming to Brooklyn to lose, and his father supports all of this confidence. As he stands in the corner of his house before the biggest battle of his career against the undefeated knockout artist Gervonta Tank, Lamont Roach Sr. has been training for this moment his entire life. Even if no one has been watching, Davis, the late nights spent at the gym, the lengthy commutes to amateur competitions, the sacrifices, and most importantly, the teachings learned from a single guy all come flooding back. In addition to being a mentor, Bernard Roach was also a family man and the creator of a boxing legacy that endures to this day. As Roach Sr. enters Brooklyn's Barclays Center, the sight of dreams being realized and dashed.
Fight him like a dog, and he said, I'm gonna try to knock him out. If he talking about retiring, I'm gonna try to retire his ass early. A lot of people think that that's the wrong game plan. I agree. I don't think it's gonna work, but
He knows Bernard is looking on. We saw it, we believed it, we achieved it. He says in a voice that is both proud and sad. Bernard Roach was a very good man. Fight him like a dog, and he added, if he talks about retiring, I'm going to try to retire his ass early. Many people believe that's not the best course of action. The world may view this as another easy victory for Davis, another knockout to add to his highlight reel. But inside the Roach camp, there is an unwavering belief that things will be different. I agree that I don't think it's going to work. But for Roach Sr., this isn't just a fight. It's a culmination of years of work and an opportunity to prove that Lamont Jr. is more than just an underdog and not just another name on Tank's record. Roach Sr. always has his mentor with him. Even though Bernard Roach died away in 2017, his lessons and wisdom are still felt today. As Lamont Jr. gets ready to face the most formidable puncher in boxing, Roach Sr., he is depending more than ever on the teachings he learned from his unwavering desire to develop champions. He is with me. His soul is present. Roach Sr. claims that he will be ecstatic at this moment, but he is with me. Little reminders and signals are visible. Bernard's influence was seen in 2023 when Lamont Jr. defeated Hector Luis Garcia to win the WBA junior lightweight title in a thrilling last round. With the bout on the line, Roach Jr. produced a knockdown to seal the victory. When I lifted up my shirt with Bernard's picture on it during the final round of that championship fight, I was reminded that Bernard was watching and that this one was for him.
It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be little clips like you see how like man him was talking and then somebody else talked like his crew. Mm-hmm. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like.
Then I heard a voice and I had a strange feeling that something was happening. And I believe that was him telling us not to give up, says Roach Sr. It's like, oh, I don't know. It's just little clips like you see how like me and him were talking and then somebody else talked like in his crew. And that's what made me like that. It's a straightforward but impactful remark. And I always want to show someone that I'm like them today and that my life and my family's lives will drastically improve when I win. In addition to fighting for himself, Roach is fighting for his family, his city, and the respect he believes has been denied him. He knows that defeating Davis will define his career and turn him from a reliable champion to a household name in camp. Roach has been working harder than ever, and his sparring partners have been carefully selected to emulate Davis's style as much as possible. They've been throwing everything at him, including speed, power, and aggression, and Roach has been holding his own. The focus has been on movement defense and keeping the fight in the middle of the ring because he knows that standing still against Davis is a death sentence. His father lands a crisp counter. Lamont Roach Sr. has played a significant role in keeping the elder Roach mentally locked in. He is a strict trainer who keeps outside noise out of their gym. Every session focuses on preparation and progress. It's all about remaining grounded and following the strategy, regardless of what the media or fans may say. Psychologically, Roach understands he must remain in Davis's face from the first bell.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
When opponents hesitate or exhibit fear, Davis flourishes, and Roach denies him that satisfaction. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, it's a really good fight. The strategy is to remain composed and focused and demonstrate to Davis that he isn't intimidated. If Roach can do that, he has a genuine chance at winning. I'm not looking at Lamont the way everyone else does. I know that Lamont is a really good fighter, dismantling the barriers usually. Davis bases his strategy on his opponent's Devon. In recent months, Davis has been causing uncertainty with his erratic actions. The Baltimore native has made some startling remarks regarding his. The boxing world was left scratching its head after Davis's career left his fans in a state of uncertainty on Christmas Eve.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont's fighting style. Y'all fought.
Yeah, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I fought him in the amateurs. Like
when he abruptly announced that his highly anticipated showdown with Roach had been canceled, there was no explanation or follow-up statement. Just a social media post that left everyone wondering what was going on. Talk to me about the mental preparation for this fight with Lamont fans. They seem to be sleeping on Lamont, but you know that he's fighting because of his own fault. Yes, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. He doesn't slouch, as I experienced when I faced him in the amateur ranks.